Is it just me, or do these newscasters seem somber at the death of OJ? OJ Simpson's lawyer from 1995 reacts to his death.
I'm Errol Barnett with continuing coverage of this
Not the
breaking
tone I was
news.
expecting.
Buffalo Bills Hall of Fame running back O.J. Simpson, who was acquitted of the 1994 slayings of his ex-wife and her friend, has died from cancer at the age of 76.
He's considered by some to be the greatest running back who ever lived. Simpson was the first man to ever rush for more than 2,000 yards in one season, and he did it in just 14 games.
This is what they're going to do?
Of course, he's largely remembered for that high-profile murder trial for the killings of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown
Simpson. Now him
Simpson,
and Kardashian
and her
are
friend,
in heaven together.
He was found liable for the killings in a civil suit brought by the victims' families.
Carl E. Douglas joins us now. He's a civil rights attorney and was a member of...
Okay, so first I want to say, I don't give a damn about OJ, how far he could throw a pigskin back in 1976. I don't care about that. He may have been acquitted in the murder trial, but he was not acquitted and he was not found not guilty in the civil trial. Do you know how many lawyers he had? He had like 1 billion lawyers. All right, let's keep listening.
What's known as the Dream Team. Those were the folks defending O.J. Simpson during the murder trial. Carl, I just want to get your reaction to this news of the death of O.J. Simpson, and perhaps you can share with us your experiences with the man.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show this morning. I was surprised, even shocked, when I learned about OJ's death this morning. He had a very complicated legacy, and I'm sure that while some will only remember him as someone who was accused of 2 brutal murders, as you stated, I knew him first as a football star here in Los Angeles when he starred at USC. I knew him second as a National Football League running back, setting mileage records and yardage records for all. And then I knew him third as an icon who was able to go and move from athletics to commercial exploitation, both on a corporate side and in Hollywood. Before Michael Jackson, before Tiger Woods, there was O.J. Simpson running through airports and highways, hawking cereal, cars, and rent-a-car agencies. I certainly send my condolences out to his 4 children, and it's impossible on this day to not remember that 2 young lives were taken far too soon, and we must always remember that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Carl. I appreciate also that as you point out, the different lenses from which people had that touchstone to O.J. Simpson in many ways influenced how they felt about him. I'm wondering, given that you were part of the team that saw him acquitted, that got him that acquittal, to later see him serve time in prison because he was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping. As people are trying to process even that, I'm curious about how you processed it when that happened.
I was devastated years later when I heard about his arrest in Vegas. But at the same time, I believe the sentence that he received in that case was a payback for the acquittal that we obtained in Los Angeles. The crime that he committed in Vegas was probably a 2-year crime dripping wet. But for that judge to impose a sentence of 9 years, for that 33 years, for that judge to hold the jury so that the verdict would come on the anniversary of the verdict in our case in 1995, says to me that there was some connection, regrettably, and that justice was not served in that matter, at least.
Carl, let's just take a moment for our viewers. Let's keep in mind that while the entire country was transfixed on every moment of that trial, you had millions of viewers. There are some people watching who weren't alive then, and this was before their time. So just for our viewers, I want to reset what was the culmination of that weeks and months-long murder trial. You were part of the team defending O.J. Simpson when the judge came back and the jury returned the verdict. Let's just look back at that for a moment.
In the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211, we, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187.
I know. Look at Robert
Take us back
Kardashian.
to
He's
that
like,
moment. Where were you if you were in the
"What?"
room? And did you believe that would be the verdict?
I was sitting inside the well right by the swinging door, right in back of Lee Bailey, who was at the front desk. And let me tell you, I've only cried out of joy 2 times in my life. Once when my son was born, and second at the O.J. Simpson verdict that day.
I cannot. Okay. I'm good with all that. I can't listen to that garbage.
I've never personally shaken hands with a murderer. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Very nice meeting you. Huh?
Doesn't that hurt your feelings?
No. And you got me riled up. You got me started.
After we finished filming, OJ said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. Just did you do it?
No, I didn't.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
Nope.
And this is it.
What the fuck? Did he actually do that? I've never seen this before.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
Nope.
And this is it.
Did not do it. No, I didn't. Nope, did not do it.
Oh my God, they slow it down. That's not my video, I promise. Here's another clip.
The chapter 6, is called The Night in Question. And you write in the book, now picture this and keep in mind that this is
Purely
hypothetical.
hypothetical.
Yes. Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994? And let's just walk through the night.
Well, first of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. I know and I accept the fact that people are going to feel whatever way they're going to feel. They're going to, whatever they want to feel. In the book, The Hypothetical, is
Charlie pulls out.
Charlie. This guy Charlie shows up, a guy who I had recently become friends with, and I don't know why he had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. And I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop, right? So we kind of hooked up together, and I'm kind of broad stroking this. We go over, get into Bronco and go over.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
This is the detail.
You park
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on a cap and gloves.
Right.
Yeah.
And you reached under the seat for?
A knife. I always kept a knife in the car for the crazies and stuff because you can't travel with a gun. And I remember Charlie saying, you ain't bringing that. And I didn't, right? But I believe he took it.
Charlie took the knife?
Yeah. In the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the back gate, you go through the back gate?
Yes.
And it was open or broken or?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I go to the front and I'm looking to see what's going on. And I can see that it appears like Nicole had candles all the time. She really did, to keep her overhead down, I think. And music was on, and while I was there, a guy shows up.
So Ron Goldman comes in the back gate.
Yeah, a guy I really didn't recognize. I may have seen him around, but I really didn't recognize him to be anyone. And in the mood I was in, I started having words with him.
He says to you, I just came by to return a pair of glasses. Judy left them at the restaurant.
Yeah, words to that effect, yes.
And he was
I don't know if I believed it or didn't believe it. It was pretty much immaterial because You know, I was more concerned about everything that was going on, you know, and was fed up with it, I guess. And
You get into a fight. Nicole comes out.
a verbal
fight.
Got a little loud, and by that time, Nicole had come out, and we started having words about who is this guy, why is he here, what's going on.
And she says, "This is my house. Get the F out of here."
Yes, and which I didn't like, because once again, this is the same person, and if you read the book, you'll see some things that happened in the 2 weeks leading up to this that were very, very irritating, you know. And I think Charlie had followed this guy in, wanted to make sure it was no problem, and he brought the knife. As things got heated, I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, "Well, you think you can kick my ass?" And I remember I grabbed the knife. I do remember that portion, taking the knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember. Except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around, and
What kind of stuff?
blood and stuff around. You know, I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry.
Right.
I know we got to back up again.
Right. It's okay. I want to back up.
This is hard.
Wow.
This is hard. I know. I want to back up
to try to make people think that I'm.
Wow.
I know.
Watch that part again. Oh, God, I can't stand O.J. Simpson.
Hard.
This is hard. I know. I want to back up
to try to make people think that I'm.
Wait, I got to get a screenshot of that.
I know. You wrote in the book, "I had never seen so much blood in my life."
Yes.
Covered. You're covered. The scene. Can you describe it?
It's hard for me to describe it. I'm telling you. I don't think any two people could be murdered the way they were without everybody being covered in blood. And of course, I think we've all seen the grisly pictures after. So yeah, I think everything would have been covered in blood.
And what goes through your mind at a time like that?
I don't know. It's like, what happened?
Right. Mm-hmm. You write about removing a glove before taking the knife from Charlie.
You know, I had no conscious memory of doing that, but obviously I must have, because they found the glove there.
And blacking out. Have you ever blacked out before?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
No. Of course, if something like this would take place in anybody's life, if it were to happen, I would imagine it's something that you would probably automatically have trouble wrapping your mind around it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Oh, he is so smug. I don't believe a word he says. Here is an animation. I've never seen this. This is an animation from the murder scene from 1995. You're going to see how far we've come, guys. Check this out.
Engineers and forensics experts who were given unprecedented access to the Simpson-Goldman murder scene have assembled this scenario.
You're seeing an overhead aerial shot of the Bundy Drive geometry of this section of town where you can see there's a number of condos side by side. This area is where the murder occurs. In reality, it's covered up with trees. There are steps and a gate and a dirt area beside the front entryway and a patio. But we took the tree out so you could see that. Now we're going to put the tree in, because the night of the murder, the tree provides incredible shade, and it's extremely dark in this area. At this point, Mr. Goldman comes up to the gate, punches it, and rings the doorbell. Nicole Simpson leaves her condo, and she actually leaves the front door ajar to come down and open the gate. There's obviously a speakerphone, and she knows who her visitor is. Literally, the assailant has to come from the patio area, or the physical arrangements of the subjects make no sense. The way he attacks them immobilizes them both. he hits the right side of Mr. Goldman's face with his left hand and does so very hard. There's a substantial bruise on the right side of his face. Simultaneously or very soon thereafter, we believe the assailant hits Nicole Simpson on the left side of her face with the butt of his knife, the pommel. And that knocks her right side of her head into the wall. We believe that knocks her out, which enables the assailant now to come down and deal with the number one threat, which is the young, able, and in pretty good shape Mr. Goldman. We postulate that he puts the point of the knife behind Mr. Goldman's head and actually uses the knife like a fork with his hand over the mouth to raise Mr. Goldman to his feet. The medical examiner has testified that that wound alone would...
Holy hell. I did not know he put... He put it in the back and then lifted him up. Holy.
And in pretty good shape, Mr. Goldman. We postulate that he puts the point of the knife behind Mr. Goldman's head and actually uses the knife like a fork with his hand over the mouth to raise Mr. Goldman to his feet. Jesus. The medical examiner has testified that that wound alone would have been sufficient to kill Mr. Goldman if nothing else had been done to him. It's obvious from the medical evidence that the assailant has a hand over Mr. Goldman's mouth, is having a talk with Mr. Goldman, and is emphasizing his points with the knife. The next fatal blow received by Mr. Goldman is a plunge right over his heart, hitting him in the left side of his torso. Another thrust, again from the back, upwards under the rib cage, which is also a fatal thrust. And he takes a final knife blow. In this side, another fatal wound. And we postulate he falls away into the fence. We see abrasion marks down the back of his scalp, which we believe is a result of falling down the fence. And then he falls over, and that is literally the position he is found by the police the next morning.
Holy crap.
With Mr. Goldman dealt with, the assailant is now free to turn his attention to Nicole. The assailant uses the same technique to lift her as he does Mr. Goldman. Hand over mouth, most important. It's clear...
So poor Nicole watched that horrific thing go down, right? Because he said in his hypothetical that Nicole fell down and hurt herself. So she was laying there hurt, watching this go on with Ron, and then he come over to her.
Again, that the assailant is talking to Nicole Simpson. The reason we know this is before the final fatal cut of her throat, there are 3 other small cuts on her throat, parallel to where the fatal blow is going to be administered. It's clearly, again, torture. The final cut across her throat is going to be delivered with her head cocked substantially back.
Christ.
And the strength in that cut is enormous. And by that I mean she is going to receive a single slice to the front of the throat that is going to be so deep it is going to nick her spinal cord. That requires tremendous strength for a single cut. I don't care how sharp your knife is. The assailant notices he has lost his wool cap. And in the animation, he touches his head. Unlike our animation, which has got enough light level for you to see what's going on, in the real scene, this was very, very dark, and it's a dark wool cap. He's trying to feel for the wool cap. He can't feel anything through the gloves. He has to take the gloves off to feel for the wool cap.
That's why the glove came off.
Taking off both gloves and not being careful about it, he actually ends up leaving a glove behind and not retrieving the wool cap. We speculate that something disturbed him in his search and cut it short.
The dog.
Whether it be a dog barking or some neighbor's voice or something.
It was the Akita.
When the investigators arrive, they're going to find Nicole's body in this position, Mr. Goldman's in this one. They're going to find the knit skull cap here. They're going to find a glove very close by it, Mr. Goldman's pager. And his keys are all going to be found in these relative positions. We believe this to be the most detailed reconstruction.
Not in 93 either.
We hope it remains the standard by which all other reconstructions are judged by, even the prosecutions.
Of course, an animation from the O.J. Simpson defense team would show a different conclusion. But for this animation, failure investigators used evidence presented in court, autopsy reports, and detailed data they gathered from the scene of the murders.
The medical evidence is literally the most important to establishing this scenario.
Me too, wake up.
The choreography, the movement of the characters through the scene
Yep.
has been
Got
driven
spooked
by
and ran off and left
the
something
medical
behind.
evidence, because the choreography has to produce
No,
the
it was
wounds,
Nicole's
and they have
dog,
to be
the
produced
Akita.
in a certain order. The hat is found with, I believe the number is 26 African-American hairs in it. There doesn't seem to be any contrary testimony or even dispute over the hat as belonging to the assailant. So we
DNA
merely
was in
followed
its
the physical
infancy
evidence.
stages. Okay, so my question is, if they didn't have DNA then, can they test it now? Like, do they still have those hairs in that cap? Oh, man. Let's see if we have any other interviews. Oh, look at here's Nicole and OJ on May 4th of 1994.
Sometimes I'll try to sing, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I got this tequila in me. The girl that came here.
Gonna say, obviously, with.
Sometimes I'll try to sing, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I got this tequila in me. The girl I came here with said to me, "Is this a blues place?" I said, "Oh, no. This is rhythm and blues." Well, people, when it's live, it's something special about being live. I mean, historically, one of my favorite shows is Saturday Night Live because it's live, and as an athlete, being live is what it's all about, game day, So in a sense, you get the sense that it's game day for whatever that performance is, which means anything can happen, which means anything can happen. And I think that adds to the excitement of the play.
I think you'd be very pleased to see.
Speaking of that lady I was talking about.
Here she is.
With another shot of this tequila. Now watch her, I'm sweating. So watch her sing. Well, sing. She can sing simply.
That's live.
We're alive right now, all across America. There she is, my woman. I'm taking her tequila. That's why I'm not singing tonight. Sometimes I'll try to sing, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I got this tequila in me.
What a jackass. Did you see her face? At the end, she's like, "You're not funny. You're abusive. You're a prick."
I'm not singing them.
Unbelievable, huh?
I'm not singing tonight. Sometimes I'll try to sing, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I got this.
Horrible. Yeah, there was 28 African-American hairs in the wool cap. Let's see. Here is something a little more recent.
How did you two link?
Just around, in New York. I lived in New York doing NFL Live, and we kind of had the same tastes in ladies.
And, what was that taste at the time?
Oh, hey, come on.
Models.
Models, because he knew, Eileen Ford. I knew Eileen Ford. We found ourselves at a lot of those type of events.
So you and Trump are kind of like wingmen sometimes.
Well, I would say we were.
That would be a pretty deadly duo. Trump and OJ. How did you two link?
Just around, in New York. I lived in New York doing NFL Live, and we kind of had the same taste.
Same taste in women. So gross. Let's see what else we can find. Kris Jenner on O.J. Simpson on The Ellen Show 8 years ago.
Before we go any further, we have to talk about the O.J. Simpson thing. I don't know how many people have been watching it, but it's, and I was talking to Ryan Murphy the other day, and he's surprised by the success of it. He couldn't believe how successful this is because it's a true story, but then to see it, how many years ago did it happen?
Well, it's 1994.
Wow.
So,
yeah,
22 years ago.
That would be the math.
Yeah.
And then,
well, here's
we're all
why
just sitting there going.
I think it's so popular with everybody too because a whole other generation is watching this. Some people for the first time.
So Selma is playing you.
Yes.
And
Selma Blair
is playing you, and David Schwimmer is playing
Robert Kardashian,
your ex-husband. How long had y'all been divorced when this happened?
We got divorced about 3 years
before that.
Yeah.
And you were good friends with Nicole.
Yes.
So OJ, for those of you who don't know the story, OJ Simpson was accused of killing Nicole Simpson. You were good friends with her, but you didn't even realize that there was abuse going on.
I didn't know that there was abuse until we heard and saw it, the whole thing unfold like everybody else, and then heard the 911 tapes that had been, many of them, which were going to be used as evidence in the trial.
I can't believe that she was your friend and she didn't say to you, I'm in trouble and I need to get away from this guy.
Me and some of her other close friends all were really surprised and shocked by that because we felt like we really failed her as a friend.
You know what? I think all these women are, I'm just going to say it, I think they're all shallow. They're all into themselves. And I'm sorry, if your best friend is in an abusive relationship, you can tell. And if she doesn't confide in you, you might not be that good of a friend. Because, I don't know.
This, and you discover things about somebody, and it was horrible. Although, she and I were supposed to have lunch the next day, the day after she was murdered. And she said she wanted to show me some things and talk about what was in her safe. And so now, unfortunately, it all makes sense that that's probably what she wanted to reveal to me that next day, which broke my heart because I always feel horrible that I didn't pay enough attention.
How did you find out that she was murdered?
Her mom called me. I had known OJ since I was 17 years old. When I met Robert, I met OJ. So that was, a very long time ago. So he was like a big brother to me. And that morning, I was coming back from taking the kids to school, and I was supposed to meet Nicole. I was going to change and go meet her. And the phone rang, and my assistant said, Judy's on the phone. And I said, oh, tell her I'll call her right back. And then she talked to Judy for a second. She goes, no, you really need to take the call. And I picked up the phone.
Oh, so this bitch was too important at this time? Wait. I thought that this put the Kardashian women on the map. I didn't think that Kris Jenner was in a position where she had a personal assistant answering her phone calls for her.
And she actually said, Nicole's been shot. And I said, what? I said, okay, I'm on my way. Where do I go? And she said, no, she didn't make it. And I said, what do you mean she's been? And that was the information that Judy had at that very moment in time. And that was very early in the morning.
Yeah.
Judy?
Wow. And I know that was really tough because then Robert was, kind of supporting him and on his side.
And why did she need an assistant? What was she doing?
And then slowly he realized that there was way too much evidence. It was very clear. It's really interesting
Look
to
at
look
her
back
pantyhose.
to, for me, to see how Marcia Clark was treated, because she was, the person who was trying to prosecute him, and she was so amazing, and they just tore her apart because she was a woman.
Yeah.
Did OJ ever try to reach out to you at all?
Right after, he called me a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure he did.
Wanted to talk and explain how he felt.
Mm-hmm. All right, you don't want to talk about that. But I mean, that must have been really awkward.
It was painfully, it was just the whole entire, every single day it was something different, and it was very difficult because my ex-husband was on one side and, I was kind of on the other. The kids were in the middle, and it was trying to explain this to children, and then OJ had called, and, everybody lost so much that night.
Yeah.
It was, you lost everything you knew.
Okay, Kris. All right, let's look up Kris Jenner. OJ Simpson trial. I know I've seen it. Here we go.
Chloe, Courtney, stop running. Kris Jenner, played by actress Selma Blair, is seen yelling at her unruly kids at Nicole's funeral. Kris really was a close friend of Nicole's. This is Kris and then husband Bruce Jenner talking to Inside Edition about the case during the trial, where they were regular spectators.
I think that this has been a really tough year, for tough 15 months for all of us. And not only have we lost Nicole, we've lost OJ too.
Kris was actually pregnant with Kendall Jenner, now a world-famous model.
How long?
6 more weeks.
6 more weeks.
6 weeks with a little girl.
And here she is. Kris shared this portrait of her newborn daughter. Kendall's middle name, it's actually Nicole, a tribute to Kris Jenner's slain best friend.
She just died. I'm so emotional.
Simpson is played by Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. And while Simpson had his problems with
Cuba Gooding Jr. And what did we just find out about Cuba Gooding Jr.? Guys, the Diddy lawsuit. And he played OJ. What the hell?
Just want to take a moment to send my condolences to yours truly.
Please say R.I.P. to O.J. Simpson in the comments.
Oh, that's a parody thing. Forget it. Rob Kardashian removing evidence from the bag at the O.J. Simpson home. This is another conspiracy.
Robert Kardashian changed the course of the O.J. Simpson case, described by the television news producer who noticed it 4 weeks later. Video not seen for more than 20 years. So
there's the infamous Louis Vuitton bag. See it by his feet?
Nobody in the media, certainly not the cops, paid any attention to that garment bag at his feet. The cops are talking to OJ in his yard. Now they've taken off the handcuffs, and they're going to bring him to police headquarters. That's Howard Weitzman. He's OJ's attorney. He'll be replaced by Robert Shapiro 2 days later. And notice, Detective Van Adder has OJ's black shoulder bag. All eyes are on OJ.
All eyes on OJ, not on the Louis Vuitton bag.
Now, notice on the other side of the car. There's Kardashian. He's picked up the bag and he's holding it. He's looking for a way out. Now, the attorney and detective have some private words, and Kardashian tries to make his move. But he backs off. Nowhere to go. Well, she's watching all the cameramen. Look who's on the other side of the car. Kardashian always said he tried to give the bag to the cops that day, but they wouldn't take it. Not according to this tape.
He said he tried to give the bag to the cops and they didn't want it.
I'll never forget, 4 weeks after this was shot.
There we go. Still with the tags on it from the airport.
Tape. Back it up. Then freeze, right there. See? 2 tags came up. American Airlines and Hertz Rent-A-Car. O.J. Simpson flew American Airlines. He was a spokesman for Hertz. And that's when we realized that bag, that's the bag O.J. brought back from Chicago. The bag he packed the night of the murders. It's bulging with potential evidence. And there's his buddy, Robert Kardashian, walking away with it. That bag, never seen again. The name Kardashian would never go away.
That bag never seen again, you guys. Crazy. Crazy town. Oh, remember Faye Resnick, too? Nicole's friend Faye. Crazy town stuff. Oh, Kato was really humorous, wasn't he? O.J. Simpson watches the Kardashians on TV in jail. What the heck?
O.J. Simpson is living a life of ease and privilege behind bars. He even has a flat-screen TV like this in his cell, says a former prison guard.
He's O.J. Simpson. He's the juice. He does his thing.
Jeffrey Felix says he became Simpson's buddy in the Lovelock Correctional Center in Nevada. Simpson's flat-screen TV is made from clear plastic, designed so prisoners can't hide contraband inside. It has a 13-inch screen, and most well-behaved inmates have one. And you won't believe what Simpson loves to watch.
He likes to keep up with the Kardashians. He likes to keep up with all the gossip with them.
Simpson can't watch the hit series The People vs. O.J. Simpson because the prison doesn't get the FX network. Felix says behind bars, the 68-year-old is treated like a celebrity.
He's allowed to cut in front of lines. He can go in front of the line for chow. He can go in front of the line for canteen. He goes to the front of the line for the clinic for his pill call.
His life of ease includes playing poker and umpiring softball games. He even coaches a prison softball team. But he's counting the days until he's eligible for parole, which won't come for at least another 2 years.
He's a model inmate in there. And most of the inmates respect him.
That's what Simpson himself told the parole board in 2013.
They told me what was expected of me here, and I gave them my word that I would try to be, or would be, the best prisoner they've ever had here. And I think for the most part, I've kept my word on that. I've not had any incidences, despite all the stories in the tabloids and everything. I haven't had one incident since I've been here.
Felix has written a book about Simpson's life behind bars, Guarding the Juice.
Guarding the Juice. Come on. You guys want to see Kato Kaelin now? All right, let's watch a little bit of Kato from back in the day. This is fun, going back in time. Here's a little bit of Kato.
Okay, why don't you pull the microphone close to you there?
Right back.
Thank you. Ms. Clark. I'm sorry, forgot to ask him to state and spell his name.
Brian Kato Kaelin, Brian Kato Kaelin.
Ms. Clark.
Mr. Kaelin, is Kato your middle name?
A nickname.
Is that what people call you instead of Brian?
Yes.
You a little bit nervous today?
Feel great. A little nervous.
All right, Mr. Kaelin, did you know someone by the name of Nicole Brown Simpson back in 1992?
Yes.
Can you tell us, please, how you met her?
In Aspen, Colorado.
And what was the event?
It was like a Christmas break, and I went with a buddy, and we met.
And what month was that, if you recall?
December.
Who was the buddy you were with that when you met Nicole Brown?
Grant Kramer.
Did you get involved in some kind of romantic relationship with her?
Did I?
Did you?
No. I said, Nicole, who lives back there? And she said, no one. And then I said, could I? And she says, well, if you do, you have to clean it out. And I said, great.
Was it not clean at that time?
There was furniture in there,
TV logo.
treadmill, and a few other things. And that was it.
So did you make some agreement with her concerning paying rent, living there?
Yes.
What was your agreement?
It'd be $450 to $500 for rent, and then take care of the kids. Nicole would take things off, and
Now, during that time, did you have occasion to meet Mr. Simpson?
not in January. I think it was in February. I don't know the exact date.
Sometime in February of 1993?
Yes.
And when I say Mr. Simpson, that's someone you see in court today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Point him out, please.
There.
Thank you. Okay, and how was it you met him? What was the occasion?
Was he
he came by.
up, you think?
To the house on Gretna Green?
To the house on Gretna Green.
How long did you live at that house on Gretna Green?
Until January of '94, the beginning of January.
Why not?
I was going to move in, and I moved in at OJ's.
Why not? Why'd you do that?
Because OJ asked me to go to his house. I mean, it was part of the deal. I went there instead of moved in with Nicole.
What did the defendant say to you about moving into his house instead of Nicole's condominium or townhouse?
I mean, we talked about it, and it was sort of like the right thing to do. That not to be in the same house. That I should probably go there. And OJ offered me his place. It was free, and he said, "When you can stay as long as you want, and when it's time for you to go, he let me know."
So OJ didn't want him living with Nicole. I wanted to see if there was like some cross, but this is like it's direct.
1220, right?
1220.
Evidence code section.
No, I know.
Tell us what the nature of that conversation was.
It was to get some. He had $100 bills, and he needed like a $5 for the sky cap, and he asked me if I had some cash.
So after he told you he only had $100 bills and he needed a $5 bill for the sky cap, what did you do?
I gave him 20.
You gave him a 20, was it a $20 bill?
Yes.
And when you gave him the $20 bill, did you put it in his hand?
Yes.
Could you see both his hands?
One hand for sure, but I could see both hands, yeah.
Did you notice him bleeding or cut on either hand?
No.
And what happened next?
I gave him the money, and he said he was going to get a hamburger, and I said, can I go?
You invited yourself to go with him?
Yes.
And what was his response to that?
Sure.
They went to McDonald's.
You seem real excited to have you come?
Sustained.
Wouldn't you?
You?
You and the defendant, when you walked out to McDonald's, did you walk behind him? When you walked out to go to the car to go to McDonald's, did you walk behind him?
Yes.
And did you walk through the pool area behind him?
We walked to the back door.
Yes.
And through the bar area.
Okay, and
yes.
you were walking behind him, were you?
Yes.
And where did you walk then?
To the kitchen nook, out the door to the car.
And you were walking behind him the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much so. I think he was leading.
Did he walk funny?
No.
Was he limping?
No.
And when you got into the car, you indicated you went to a McDonald's on Santa Monica Boulevard?
Yes.
Santa Monica Boulevard.
Is that the closest McDonald's to Rockingham?
No.
Which one is closer?
There is one on, I believe, Wilshire.
On Wilshire?
Yes.
But you didn't go to that one?
No.
Who chose which McDonald's to go to? Who chose the place to go and eat?
OJ.
And you're sure you did not go to Burger King?
Oh, yes.
You went to McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Oh, neuroscience, you're welcome, and I hope you feel better.
Tug of war today with Brian Kato Kaelin caught in the middle. Both sides, prosecutors and defense attorneys, pulling at Kaelin, trying to get him to say what they wanted him to say about O.J. Simpson's demeanor, Simpson's, quote, degree of upsetness.
Nicole didn't let me see Sydney. I want to see my daughter. I want to see her. And, oh, boy. Kind of like, I want to see my daughter. And then, they're wearing these tight outfits that these... I don't know, Kato. I don't know how they can wear these tight outfits. If they're going to be grandmas one day, I mean, can they wear those?
Was that the tone of voice?
No, it was sort of... They can't be wearing those tight outfits, but it was... A degree of upset, it's such a hard thing to... Being upset, it wasn't throwing things. It wasn't just wearing that miniskirt.
But Marcia Clark read from previous testimony and tried to make it appear Kaelin was contradicting himself.
Okay, now you're going to see Kato now. Here is Kato now.
His left hand. Now, when they asked him about it, he said after finding out the news about Nicole,
Wow, this guy has like really rich audio.
that he cut his finger in the hotel. And they even had confirmed that he had gone to like the hotel lobby to get some Band-Aids and everything else like that. And he said, okay, yeah, that's how I cut my finger.
Right.
But then the police told him that they had found blood inside of the car. And he said, oh, yeah, no, I cut my finger before Chicago, but I don't remember how I cut it.
Correct, yeah. He doesn't know if you recut it or not. Or from reading evidence later of reading certain books and hearing
This is 1 year
testimony from
ago.
before. That was the big thing of how could he have cut himself and not know how he had this. I guess it was a pretty big cut that you would know how you had that one. Little Nixon, sometimes I get those. I don't know that, but this was a major cut. And also, I guess the police, there was evidence of they went and saw that the hotels that they used at that hotel were these thick glasses, and they demonstrated dropping it in sinks, and they couldn't break it. And so that was Tom Lang told me that's also in his book, Evidence Dismissed, of certain things that was dismissed and never used in trial. But that was one of it. They tried attesting these things. They wanted to make sure.
Right. I mean, because from the outside looking in, here you are hanging out with him. His hands are clean, no cuts. He goes to Chicago, and it sounds like he almost creates a situation around the cut hand, which doesn't check out because there was blood inside the car ahead of time. And when they actually check the house where you were staying on the other side of that wall, that's where they found the other bloody glove. And OJ's blood was on both gloves as well as Ron and Nicole's blood. And there was blood basically in both places, both.
So there was blood on the glove at OJ's. There was blood on the glove at Nicole's. I mean, come on. I hope you feel better too, Nero. Dude, he aged great. Are you kidding me? He did testify, though, to hearing odd noises. I remember this. Outside
Before the court
by
with
the
his counsel, Mr. Shapiro,
Remember
Mr.
Judge
Cochran,
Ito?
Mr. Douglas, Mr. Bailey. People are represented by Ms. Clark and Mr. Darden. The jury is not present. Counsel, is there anything we need to take up before we invite the jurors to rejoin us?
Yes, Your Honor, very briefly, we are quite concerned about some of the things that are being said at sidebar that are gratuitous in nature. And yesterday there were statements that were made that were quite derogatory of Jason Simpson and implied that he was involved in planting potential evidence.
Ooh, so it was brought up that Jason planted potential evidence. Check this out. Let's watch this.
All right, any other comment? All right, let's have the jurors.
Ron, can I ask one moment? I have to look at an SET by the defense. Let me indicate, I've indicated to Mr. Shapiro already that we have a very short segment of videotape that I wanted to be able to show to this witness on the witness stand, and I want to make sure that it is the date that I think. Pardon? Yeah, that's something I can lay a foundation for. Perhaps what I should do right now is show it to counsel so that we don't have to take a break in the proceedings at the time.
All right. What is this video of?
It's a Robbie and
Johnny Cochran? Johnny's dead too.
What, did they see us? Okay, we're 30 seconds away, 30 seconds away. Look at me, Donna. Give it that open door. Okay, we're 15 seconds away, 10 seconds away. It's not on our side, I don't know what's it. Okay, we're gonna do it.
Meg? Are you kidding? There he is. Did you see him come jogging up? How crazy. What a crazy time.
Stay on them, not on them.
Meg, that is so funny. That's what I'm wondering, neuroscience.
Okay, man.
So she wanted to play this video in court.
All right, Ms. Clark, we've had the opportunity.
Can you believe the quality of this audio is nuts? Or I mean the video.
One, please.
How many days did he testify?
All right, you're looking at 1:30 right now, Mr. Kaelin?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us, what are you looking at? What location is that?
That's the, coming from the laundry, the shot was taken probably from the laundry room door, and it's the garage.
And so you're looking from the interior of the house into the garage?
Yes.
And is that the appearance of the garage as you last remember seeing it?
Yes.
Okay, directing your attention, sir, I'm going to use a laser. Can you look up at the screen for a moment? Okay, you see this little red dot?
Yes.
All right. First of all, what am I pointing to here?
It's the weights, the workout center.
All right. And behind that, those weights, what do you see that I'm circling?
The car, the Testarossa.
Okay. And is it covered here?
Yes, it is.
All right. And is that the cover you recall seeing on it?
Yes.
Was it usually kept covered in that manner?
Yes.
Okay. And over here, sir?
My mom used to set, hey guidance. My mom used to set the VCR because she worked, and she'd set the VCR and she would watch this at night. Glued to the OJ trial. Oh, this is when he points out where he heard the noises. Let's watch this part.
Yes. From my recollection, it was dark.
And you thought there was a light on upstairs?
Yes.
Let me back up for a minute. You indicated that you heard the thumps on the wall at approximately 10:40 to 10:45. Before hearing the thumps, you were talking on the phone to Rachel?
Yes.
After hearing the thumps, were you still talking on the phone to Rachel?
Yes.
Were you listening to hear footsteps at either time?
I did not.
Do you know whether you're able to hear footsteps from inside your room if someone's walking on the south pathway?
I don't think so.
Do we need 66 anymore?
We do. Right now.
All right.
You saw the limousine parked at the Ashford gate.
Yes, I did.
You did not let the limo driver in. Where did you go? What did you do?
I checked on the noise.
Can you show us on this Eagle 66 what you did?
Okay, so I had the flashlight, and it was here, so I started walking this way, and I had the light on, and I went. There's a gate here. That's I can pick up the gate. You can pick it up. It's not working. So I kind of leaned against the tree and I went down just a bit. And the pen light, the light was pretty dim. Looked a little bit, and then I came back.
Okay. For the record, the witness has indicated he walked south on the driveway over to the garage area, made a left at the corner of the garage, and walked in on that south pathway a short distance.
Yes.
Okay, as far as you got on that south pathway, sir, were you able to see the area, the ground area?
Y'all, look at this computer. Look at this computer.
Over to the garage area, made a left at the corner of the garage, and walked in on that south pathway a short distance.
Yes.
Okay, as far as you got on that south pathway.
Look at that computer. That is nuts. That is crazy. Like, this was not that long ago, it doesn't seem like. Okay.